The greatest shoulders ever built were made with exercises you'll never find in a modern gym. Not because they failed, because they were brutal, awkward, and impossible to sell. No padded seats, no numbered stacks, just men pressing raw iron overhead with nothing holding it in place, fighting the weight on the way down, not just up. Then the gyms went commercial. Machines were easier to sell, and one by one, these movements vanished. 16 of them. Some look completely wrong. One needs 2 weights overhead at once. One's a lateral raise that starts locked out above your head. And number 1, a weight so heavy the lifter couldn't press it. He threw it up with his legs and forced his shoulders to survive the way down. Most old-timers couldn't handle it. The ones who could built thickness no machine has ever matched. Let's count them down. Number 16, the Bradford press. We open with a movement that turns 2 exercises into one. Picture a lifter with a bar racked on the front of the shoulders. He presses it up, but only high enough to clear the top of his head. Then, instead of locking out, he slides it behind the neck, presses it back to the front, and keeps going. Front, back, front, back. The bar never sits still at the top. There is no lockout, and there is no rest. That's the point. Ordinary pressing gives your delts a little vacation at the top of every rep, right where the triceps take over. The Bradford press deletes that vacation. The tension stays buried in the shoulders for the entire set, front and rear working through a range most people never touch. It's named after Jim Bradford, an American heavyweight and 2-time Olympic silver medalist. The old Bradford special was originally assistance work for the clean and press, built by a competitive lifter for competitive lifting. So why don't you see it? Behind the neck work fell out of fashion, and once it did, a movement that lives half its life behind the neck was never going to survive on a commercial gym floor. A straight-seated press was easier to coach and easier to load. The mistake people make now is treating this like a warm-up toy with an empty bar and a wandering mind. It isn't. It's a continuous tension shoulder builder, and it only works if you keep it smooth, keep it controlled, and never let the bar crash behind your head. Start light, genuinely light. This one humbles people who deserve to be humbled. That's the gentle opener. It gets stranger fast. Number 15, the Scott press. Here's a forgotten movement that built the shoulders of the first Mr. Olympia in history. 2 dumbbells held wide out beside the head, not stacked in a normal pressing groove, but flared out to the sides and tilted slightly. From there, the lifter presses through a short, deliberate arc. He never drives all the way up to a clean overhead lockout. He stops short on purpose and comes back down. Cutting the rep short sounds like cheating yourself. It's the opposite. A full lockout hands the top of the movement over to your triceps. Keep the arc short and wide, and the load never leaves the delts. Every inch of every rep is paid for by the shoulder. This one has a name attached to it, Vince Gironda. The Iron Guru reportedly built this specific press to fix a specific problem. Larry Scott's shoulders, which Scott himself considered a weak point going into a Mr. America contest. Scott brought them up. Then he went on to win the very first Mr. Olympia ever held. So why did it vanish? Because it was a Gironda special, not a standardized lift. It lived in one man's gym and one man's methods. It never got printed on a machine placard or taught to a room full of new members. So outside of the people who chased Gironda's ideas directly, it simply faded. The modern mistake is turning it back into a normal press, driving straight up, locking out, letting the triceps rescue every rep. Do that and you've thrown away the entire reason it exists. Keep it short. Keep it wide. Keep the burn where Gironda put it. And notice the pattern already forming. The best old shoulder builders weren't about moving the most weight. They were about making sure the delt moved it. Number 14, the true heels together military press. Before we go further, let's talk about the exercise everyone thinks they still do, but almost nobody actually does anymore. The real military press. Heels together. Torso stacked straight up. No leg drive. No sneaky layback where you turn a standing press into a standing incline bench. Just a bar on your shoulders and the job of grinding it overhead using nothing but the shoulder girdle. That version is brutal, and it's honest. There's no bench pressing the weight for you, and no lower body bagnaling you out. The shoulders start the weight, and the shoulders finish it. That's why the old writers treated it as a foundational test of real overhead strength. Here's the part most lifters don't know. Pressing used to be an actual Olympic event, a third lift, alongside the snatch and the clean and jerk. But over the years, the press got bent further and further from a strict press. Layback crept in, judging arguments piled up, and eventually the officials couldn't referee it cleanly anymore. After 1972, the press was removed from international weightlifting entirely. It never came back. When the sport dropped the press, it dropped a whole culture of strict overhead pressing with it. The old writer Charles A. Smith specifically contrasted the earlier heels-together military press against the sloppier Olympic pressing that came later. He could already see the strict version disappearing. The mistake today is calling a wide stance, hips forward, half layback grind a military press. It's a fine exercise, it just isn't this one. Bring your heels in, stand tall, take the layback out. You'll use less weight and build more shoulder. Number 13, Steve Reeves' one-arm incline lateral. Now a strange little isolation move that Hercules himself used. Set an incline bench. Lie against it sideways, on your side, chest to the pad, with one dumbbell hanging down. Raise that dumbbell out and up, and here's the detail that makes it. Keep the outer edge of your hand high the entire way, like you're pouring out a pitcher. Lying on the incline changes the angle of pull, so the lateral delt gets attacked in a spot a standing raise glosses right over. The result the old-timers were chasing was width. That hard, capped, side delt sweep that makes a waist look smaller and shoulders look like they belong on a statue. This one shows up in Larry Scott's shoulder material, credited as an exercise Steve Reeves used regularly. Reeves, arguably the most beautifully proportioned physique of the entire era. Why did it fade? Honestly, convenience killed it. A cable machine or a lateral raise machine reproduces the constant angle idea with none of the fuss, and the strict lying version lets you use almost no weight, which frustrates people who'd rather feel strong than build the muscle. And that's exactly the modern mistake, chasing the number. People pile on weight, swing the whole body, and turn a precision width builder into a sloppy heave. Strip the weight down, lie down, lead with the pinky edge. Let it be hard in the only place that matters. Number 12, the seesaw press. Time to make one shoulder pay for the other. Two dumbbells, but they don't move together. As one presses up, the other lowers. As the second drives up, the first comes down. They trade off, a slow, controlled seesaw overhead. One bell always working while the other resets. Because one arm is always loaded, the shoulders barely get a break across the whole set. And because the load is unbalanced from side to side, your torso has to brace hard to keep you from tipping. So the whole shoulder girdle is fighting to stabilize on top of pressing. Old strength magazines describe this one, and the physical culturist Sig Klein, a name you'll hear more than once tonight, reportedly performed it with 100-pound dumbbells. Sit with that image for a second. It disappeared for a simple reason. A normal seated dumbbell press, both arms together, is easier to balance, easier to teach, and easier to standardize. The seesaw asks for coordination most beginners don't have, so gyms defaulted to the version anyone could do on day one. The mistake now is doing it fast, bouncing the bells up and down like pistons. That kills it. The magic is the slow, deliberate handoff, with real control at the top. Slow the tempo. Let each side earn its rep. And keep your ribs down so you're pressing with shoulders, not swaying with your spine. Now the equipment gets old-fashioned. Number 11, the strand upward chest pull. Here's a piece of equipment that once built some of the best shoulders in the world, and it isn't a barbell, a dumbbell, or a machine. Spring strands, chest expanders, steel springs with handles. For this one, you start bent forward, holding the strands, and then you rise up to standing while pulling them apart, finishing with your arms spread wide across your chest and the springs fully stretched. The resistance climbs the harder you pull, exactly where a normal weight would start getting easier. That path hammers the rear delts through an angle almost nothing in a modern dumbbell workout duplicates. The posterior head, the part that separates a real 3D shoulder from a front-only, mirror muscle shoulder, gets loaded directly. Strand pulling was once a serious discipline with its own competitive scene. Dave Webster wrote about it in a 1966 strand training article and called this a strong posterior delt movement with one specific instruction: come erect while the strands are being stretched, so the tension is peaking as you stand tall. So why don't you own a set? Because barbells, cables, and machines took over the gym floor, and an entire tradition of spring training got left behind with them. It didn't fail, it got crowded out. The mistake modern lifters make is skipping rear delts almost entirely, then wondering why their shoulders look flat from the side. The old strand men never had that problem. You don't need antique equipment to steal the lesson. Any band gives you that same rising resistance. But the principle is old. Pull the rear delts through a stretched, standing arc, not just a seated little fly. Number 10, Sig Klein's lying straight arm dumbbell raise. This one looks almost too simple to matter. It isn't. Lie flat on your back, one dumbbell resting down beside your hip, arms straight. Lock the elbow completely and keep it locked. Now sweep that straight arm all the way up in a long arc until it points at the ceiling, then lower it back down. No bending, no cheating, no help from the elbow. Locking the elbow turns your entire arm into one long lever. And a long lever makes even a small dumbbell feel enormous, because the delt has to move the load the hard way, over the maximum possible distance, with zero assistance from the triceps. Charles A. Smith wrote that he first saw this performed in Sig Klein's gym and identified it as one of Klein's favorites. Klein was famous for shoulders that looked built by an engineer. It disappeared for the usual reasons. It feels awkward. You can only use a little weight, and there's a front raise machine that does the same thing with a padded seat and a pin. Same area maybe, not the same lever, and not the same difficulty. The mistake now is bending the elbow the instant it gets hard, which quietly hands the work to your arm and takes it away from the shoulder. Keep the elbow locked like your life depends on it. Use a weight that looks embarrassing. That's the exercise. We're halfway home, and this is where the old strongmen walk in. Number 9, the two hands anyhow. Forget isolation for a minute. This is a shoulder builder from the age of the strongman, and it is enormous. Here's the picture. The lifter bent presses a heavy barbell overhead with one arm and holds it up there, locked out. Then, still balancing that first weight, he reaches down with his free hand, grabs a second weight, a dumbbell or kettlebell, and presses that one overhead too. Two separate loads, two different movements, both fighting to be held up at the same time. This was never about carving a delt. This is the old idea of building the entire shoulder girdle, strong enough to support a huge, unstable load overhead. Stability, balance, and raw pressing power welded into one feat. The number attached to it still sounds fake. Arthur Saxon's famous two hands anyhow was 448 pounds in 1905. The full lift could take 12 to 15 seconds and demanded two completely different overhead tasks stacked back to back. Why is it gone? Because it takes tremendous skill, mobility, and practice, and it belonged to an era of exhibition strongman lifting, not standardized gym training. You can't put two hands anyhow on a beginner's program, so the modern gym simply forgot it existed. There's no soft takeaway version of a 448-pound circus lift. But the principle is worth keeping. The shoulders that impressed the old strongmen were shoulders that could hold weight overhead. Number 8, the strand back pull across the neck. Back to the springs, because the old strand men had more than one trick. For this one, the strands start behind your body, across the backs of your wrists. You raise your elbows and pull the springs until they travel up and across the back of your neck, over the top of your shoulders. It looks unusual. It's meant to. That path buries direct resistance into the rear delts, the upper back, and the whole rear shoulder girdle at once. Heavy, direct tension in a region most people can only reach with awkward little cable moves. Dave Webster described this as the method used by top competitive European strand pullers when they wanted maximum resistance and maximum shoulder development. These weren't hobbyists. This was how the best in the world trained with the tool. It's gone for the same reason as every strand exercise. The apparatus itself became a museum piece. Today, people reach for a reverse pec deck or a cable fly and call it even. It's a reasonable substitute. It just isn't the same brutal, rising over-the-neck stretch. The mistake, again, is neglect. Rear delts treated as an afterthought at the end of a workout, if they're trained at all. The strand pullers made them a main event. Grab a band, run it across the back of the neck the same way, and you've resurrected a championship rear delt movement with equipment you already own. Now the difficulty climbs. Number 7. Deep handstand press-ups on a bench. No weights at all for this one. Just your entire body, upside down. Kick up into a handstand, but not on the floor. On a raised bench or a pair of blocks with your hands elevated. Now lower yourself until your chest reaches bench level, deeper than any floor handstand push-up could ever let you go, and press your whole body back up. Elevating the hands gives you range a floor handstand can't. You get a deep, loaded overhead press using body weight, hitting the shoulders, triceps, and upper back. And because you're inverted, the shoulders are holding you in space the entire time. There is no machine on earth that makes you balance your own body while you press it. Here's the proof it was taken seriously. In a 1953 training account, Sig Klein did these bench handstand press-ups for 13 reps, while his training partner managed 6. Klein said his personal best was 19. 19 deep, inverted presses of his own body weight. It disappeared because it demands real skill before it can build anything. Balance, coordination, the nerve to be upside down under load. That's a hard sell in a commercial gym where the goal is to get a new member moving weight on day one. The mistake people make is either avoiding inversion entirely or doing shallow floor reps and calling it the same thing. The depth off the bench is the whole point. Build the handstand first, then find the depth. Then chase Klein's 19. Most people won't get close. Number 6, collar-to-collar seated press behind the neck. This one changes a familiar exercise with one extreme adjustment. Sit down, completely upright. Take a barbell to press behind the neck, but instead of a normal grip, spread your hands almost all the way out to the collars, as wide as the bar will let you. Then press from behind the neck with that enormous grip. Widening the grip that far changes the leverage completely. It pulls the movement out of the triceps and drops it squarely onto the shoulders, which is exactly why the old writers prescribed it as a dedicated delt developer rather than just another press. Charles A. Smith laid out real programming for it. 4 sets, building all the way up to 15 reps before you'd add any weight. That's a lot of quality time under tension for the shoulders, and very little of it stolen by the arms. Why is it rare now? 2 reasons stacked on top of each other. It demands serious shoulder mobility, and it's a behind-the-neck movement, the whole family that modern gyms have been quietly backing away from. Add in that the wide grip forces you to use light weight, and it never had a chance to stay popular. The mistake is doing it heavy and stiff, forcing a range your shoulders can't actually reach. That's how behind-the-neck work earned its bad reputation in the first place. If your shoulders have the mobility for it, keep it light, keep it smooth, and treat those 15 rep sets as the target. If they don't have the mobility, this one isn't yours yet, and that's fine. 4 exercises left. This is where it stops being ordinary. Number 4, the straight arm overhead barbell lever. This one is going to look almost impossible when you picture it. That's why it works. Stand with your back flat against a wall. Hold a barbell locked out overhead, arms completely straight. Now, without bending your elbows, Lower the entire bar forward and down until it reaches shoulder height in front of you. Pause. Then lever it all the way back up overhead. Arms still dead straight the whole time. No pressing, no elbow bend. Just a locked, straight arm lever swinging a barbell through the longest, cruelest arc possible. The lever arm is enormous, which means the front delts have to control the weight over the maximum distance with zero help from the triceps. A tiny weight becomes savage. Charles A. Smith prescribed this specifically to build sustaining power in the anterior delts, the ability to hold and control weight out in front of the body, not just briefly press it. It disappeared because it's inconvenient in every way a machine is convenient. Awkward setup, humiliatingly small poundages, and a front raise machine sitting right there offering to do something vaguely similar with a padded back and a weight stack. Given the choice, most people took the seat. The mistake is the same one that kills every long lever move, bending the elbow to make it easier, which quietly turns a brutal lever into an easy press. Elbows locked, back on the wall, light bar, slow arc. Try it once and you'll understand why the front raise machine felt like mercy. Number 3, Sig Klein's Dumbbell Clean and Press Challenge. Now we stop pretending shoulders were ever trained in isolation. 2 heavy dumbbells on the floor. Clean them. Rip them from the floor up to your shoulders in one move. Then press them overhead. Then do it again and again. The shoulders aren't a body part here. They're the finish of a chain that runs from your grip up through the clean, into the stabilizing, and out through the press. That's how the old-timers thought about a shoulder. Not as a muscle to pump in a mirror, but as the top link in a full-body pressing machine. Klein's famous standard was 12 reps with 2 75-pound dumbbells. Clean and press 75s for 12. The old strength culture didn't treat that as conditioning or cardio. They treated it as a serious test of complete muscular power, and most strongmen couldn't touch it. Why is it lost? Because modern bodybuilding split hypertrophy off from lifting. Shoulders got their own isolation day, and the clean, the part that ties the whole body together, got surgically removed. A machine finishes the job by eliminating the clean entirely. You just sit and push. The mistake isn't doing it wrong. It's never doing anything like it at all, training delts in a padded seat and never once cleaning a real weight to the shoulder. You don't need Klein 75s on day 1, but cleaning a pair of dumbbells and pressing them overhead for reps will build shoulders and everything attached to them in a way no machine ever built anyone. 2 left. Now it gets ugly on purpose. Number 2, the dumbbell crucifix negative. Here is a movement designed around the part of the rep everyone else ignores, the way down. Press 2 dumbbells overhead. Now, with your arms nearly straight, lower them slowly out to the sides, not forward, out, until your body forms a giant cross. A crucifix, arms extended, dumbbells hanging out at the ends of 2 long, straight levers. Hold that position, then raise the bells back overhead and do it again. The lowering is the exercise. That long lever eccentric, fighting the weight down and out to the sides, punishes the delts through a range where ordinary pressing gives them absolutely nothing. There's no rest anywhere in it. The tension only gets worse the closer you get to the crucifix. The old prescription was exact. Lower slowly, then hold a 2 count in the full crucifix position before pressing back up. A deliberate, timed hold at the hardest possible point. Why did it die? Because it is brutally hard with shockingly light dumbbells. It produces no flattering machine number to brag about, and it demands total control. The second you lose the arms, the weight is gone. Nothing about it sells. The mistake modern lifters make is grabbing weights they can press, then discovering the descent buries them, because pressing a weight and lowering it under a long lever are 2 completely different worlds. Go light, fight the way down. Hold the cross for a 2 count, and keep the arms nearly locked. Never let the weights collapse in on you. Which brings us finally to number 1. Number 1, Ron Walker's behind neck jerk with torture negatives. The last one breaks the rules. It gives your shoulders a weight they were never supposed to be able to press, and then makes them survive it anyway. Here's how it works. Take roughly your best pressing weight and put it behind your neck. Now jerk it overhead, legs firing, driving the bar up fast, the way a weightlifter launches a jerk. The legs get the weight up there because the shoulders alone never could. Then the real work begins. You fight that bar back down onto your shoulders as slowly as humanly possible. Not lower it, fight it. Resist every inch of the descent while a near maximal weight tries to crush you back down. The instant it touches, you jerk it back up and do it again. The legs launch a load the delts could never conventionally press. Then the shoulders are forced to control that overload on the way down, over and over. It is one of the purest overload-eccentric methods ever built for the shoulder, and it looks exactly as savage as it sounds. This was reportedly a favorite of the British lifting great Ronald Walker, a man whose shoulders Charles A. Smith described as enormous. Walker believed the slow lowering built his delts and improved his jerk at the same time. The prescribed progression started at 4 sets of 5 and could climb to 4 sets of 10 before any weight was added. Why is it gone? Because it is heavy, exhausting, technically awkward, and the exact opposite of everything a modern shoulder machine promises. There is no comfortable seat, no guided path, no tidy number. There is a near maximal weight, your legs, your shoulders, and the descent. Even in Walker's own era, this wasn't a movement men stayed on comfortably. But the ones who could handle it built shoulders that a padded machine has never once reproduced. And that's the whole story of this list, standing in one exercise. Modern training would hand you a stack, a seat, and a number. Walker handed himself a weight he wasn't supposed to be able to press, and made his shoulders earn the right to bring it down. None of these 16 exercises disappeared because they stopped working. That's the part the modern fitness world would rather you didn't think about. They disappeared because training culture changed underneath them. Gyms went commercial. Machines were easier to sell, easier to seat a beginner at, and easier to keep everyone safe on. Free weight overhead work got hard to supervise. Strange leverage got replaced by a pin and a stack. Behind the neck movements got quietly retired. And somewhere along the way, discomfort stopped being something you mastered and became something to engineer out of the room entirely. Piece by piece, an entire style of building shoulders got left behind. Not because it failed, but because it didn't fit the business. You don't have to copy every reckless habit the old-timers had. Some of these you'll never do, and you don't need to. But throwing out everything they knew because it looks old-fashioned is its own kind of stupidity. Underneath the springs, the handstands, the ugly levers, and the weights they weren't supposed to be able to lift, they understood one thing perfectly. The muscle doesn't grow because the training looks advanced. It grows when you give it a reason it cannot ignore. The machines took the reasons away. The old-timers built them by hand. So here's the question for you. Which forgotten method should we dig up next? The lost arm exercises, the buried back work, or the leg training that modern gyms are terrified to program? Tell me in the comments, and I'll go find the ones they tried to erase.